In this video, I'm going to be talking about probably the easiest way and probably the most battle-tested way to actually get rich in cryptocurrency, which is through investing in indexes. And this is something that is extremely popular in the equities markets, but it seems to have just not really made its way to the cryptocurrency space. And if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, or you don't want to gamble your money and you want to use a more for sure way to potentially getting rich in cryptocurrencies, then you're going to want to listen to this video, because I'm actually going to go through and explain first off why this is so important really quickly, and then I'm going to explain my top 3 favorite crypto indexes to invest in and exactly how those work. Now, the key here is to understand that the idea really has come from the stock market. The statistics are that the index funds basically outperform individual fund managers or individual stock pickers almost always. And if you take a look at some of the most popular indexes, one is the S&P 500. And an index, all it is, if you're not familiar, is it's basically just a basket of a bunch of different stocks in this case, or we'll talk about a basket of different cryptocurrencies in just a second. But essentially, instead of betting on one single stock or just a couple stocks, why not just buy the 500 most successful stocks or the 500 most successful companies in America? And that's what the philosophy has been for a long time. If you take a look at Tony Robbins, he basically interviewed 50 self-made billionaires, and he wrote this book called Money Master the Game, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom. And basically this was a gigantic book, like 600 plus pages. And the gist of it was to save money and invest into index funds. And this is also a bet that Warren Buffett made back a while ago. He made a bet of $1 million in 2017 that the S&P 500 index would outperform actively managed funds over the course of 10 years. And he won by a landslide. And we're talking about the smartest people in the world that own these gigantic hedge funds. They struggle to outperform index funds. And so there's something really to be said. Obviously, another index that you're probably familiar with is the NASDAQ. It basically takes more like of a tech approach in investing into tech companies, but you can see it's pretty much up and to the right only. So why has this not been adopted in the cryptocurrency space? I don't know exactly why, but I believe as the market gets more sophisticated, more and more people will actually want to invest into crypto index funds. And my philosophy is that yes, this is not the sexiest thing. Yes, you're likely not going to get, 1000x gains or 100x gains right away, and it may take time, but in my opinion, this is probably the most for sure way to actually get rich in cryptocurrencies. If you take a look at it right now, we're currently at about 250 million users in cryptocurrency, and we're at this growth curve that's expected to go to like 1 billion users here very shortly. If you just take a look at this technology adoption curve, you can see that it's tracking kind of like how the internet grew. If you look at here in orange, we have total crypto users, and then here in white, we have internet users. And you can see we're basically tracking this pretty quickly. We're actually growing quicker than we did in the internet. So it's not unlikely to believe that we should have 1 billion users by 2024. And by the end of the decade, we should have like maybe 3.5 or 3.7 billion users. So the idea is, instead of trying to bet on individual cryptocurrencies, why not just bet on the entire space growing? I think that's almost a for sure thing that the cryptocurrency space is going to continue to grow. Right now, we're only at about $2 trillion in total market cap, and I expect by the end of the decade to be at least $100 trillion. So you still have this 50x potential. You still have this opportunity to get rich, but instead of doing like most people do and picking individual cryptocurrencies, why not take a more indexed approach? And that's how I've done a lot of my portfolio, is because I don't want to get arrogant and think that I'm smart enough to pick individual cryptocurrencies. Sure, I have some sort of idea, but also I believe in the power of indexing. So what I want to talk about right now is my top 3 favorite cryptocurrency indexes and exactly how each one of these work. And then also I'll go ahead and I'll explain actually a 4th bonus one that I think is really quite cool. And I've spent a bunch of time actually talking about this on our Instagram here, which I do recommend you go and following. It's at Blue Edge Crypto on Instagram. We post a ton of helpful little videos and live market updates on our stories. So go ahead and give us a follow here. So the third favorite cryptocurrency index, number 3 here, is something called the Crypto 20. And basically all it is, it has a token. It's called C20. It has a fund value of $58 million. And all it does is it's basically going, and when you buy the C20 token, you're buying the top 20 cryptocurrencies. So you can see which allocation you're buying. So you're buying 11% ETH, you're buying 10% Bitcoin, 9% Luna, 5.7% AVAX. You get the idea. And this is essentially kind of like investing into the S&P 500. It's a very similar approach. These guys have been around for a little while, and I think they're one of the only people that I've seen that have done something like this where they're investing in like the top 20 cryptos. And so if you really want to be safe, these top 20, they've made it to the top 20 for a reason, because there is adoption, because obviously their project is solving some sort of need and the market has recognized that. So I think this is a extremely safe betting on, the top 20 by buying something like this. Now, also, we do know as a side note that Bitcoin kind of acts as an index of the entire market. So I think just buying and holding Bitcoin as boring as that may be, maybe buying Bitcoin and Ethereum as boring as that may be, that's an indexed approach that's likely going to set you up for success later on. Now, another index that I actually really like is something called the Metaverse Index. And the idea here is, do you expect the metaverse to grow in adoption or to shrink in adoption? And the obvious answer is grow. I mean, we see all of the biggest companies in the world that are investing literally billions of dollars, hiring people constantly to build out this metaverse or this virtual world. And essentially what this Metaverse Index is, it's available on token sets, and essentially you can just buy it by, connecting your MetaMask account, and you can buy it. I don't think you can buy this on any exchanges yet, but I'm assuming eventually you'll be able to buy it on centralized exchanges as well. But basically, here you're owning the top metaverse token. So instead of trying to figure out which one is going to come out and which one's going to win, which I think is really unrealistic. If you think that you're smart enough to know which metaverse token is going to win out, or which ones are really going to be, we're so early. And so I would just say, don't be so arrogant into thinking that, and I think this is a much safer, easier approach. So you can see here, basically this fund, you're owning 18.9% Illuvium, 14.65% Decentraland, 14% Axie Infinity, 13% Sandbox. You get the idea. That's exactly how this works. And you can see their selection criteria here. Basically, it needs to have a market cap of 50 million. They need to have 3 months history. There needs to be decent liquidity. And it talks about how it actually calculates the weighting. But this is something that I do personally own. I am bullish on the metaverse, as I think everybody on the planet is. And I think this is an easy way to bet on it versus trying to figure out which individual coins the bet. Now, the next play that I think is interesting also is the DeFi Pulse Index. And what this is essentially is it's all of the DeFi top plays. And you can see that when you buy the DeFi Pulse Index token, or DPI, you own 25% Uniswap, 16% Aave, 15% Maker, and you get the idea down the road. Here it goes. And again, just scrolling down here, you can see what their investment criteria is. And this is actually, I think, pretty smart. There's guys that are a lot smarter than me and you that are taking a look at this, that are indexing it, that are weighting, that are cutting things, that are adding things as time goes on. And so I think this is great. And obviously the performance is not done well with the course of the market, but I do still think that DeFi is only going to get bigger. Only 5% or so of all crypto participants have ever even used DeFi. So I think it's a safe bet. Now, my last one's a bonus round, and I think this is really good. But before I do that, I want you to come over to blueedgefinancial.com/crypto and consider becoming a member. If you thought this was helpful, then you may want to discover our Discord channel, where you'll be able to chat with me and my partner Lee, who's been in Bitcoin since it was 1 penny, plus get our crypto playbook, where you'll be able to follow all of our crypto plays as they happen in real time, plus a ton of other cool stuff happening here. Going over to blueedgefinancial.com/crypto. Now, my last play that I think is actually really interesting that I just started looking into about a week ago that I will be allocating funds to is something called GLP. And it operates on this platform called GMX. And essentially, GMX is a leveraged trading platform, and GLP is an index token. Basically, when you buy GLP, you are buying an index, and it's 44% USDC. It is 2% MEM, which is a stable coin, 16% Bitcoin, it's 18% AVAX, and it's 18% Ethereum. So again, these are all blue chip assets, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, blue chip assets, and stable coins, right? Where you're not going to have price volatility with that. So I really love this as a play to dollar cost average into the market. But the reason why I love this even more is because when you own GLP, you can actually earn 53% APY on your assets paid out to you in AVAX, which is great because you're not just earning some crap farm token, you're actually accumulating more of a blue chip asset, in my opinion, which is AVAX. So I really love this play in particular because not only are we taking an indexed approach, which I think is a safe way to dollar cost average into the market or to buy the dip, but also you're earning more. But also you're able to earn up to 53% APY on this as well, which I think is actually fantastic. And one last bonus index that I like, this is on Curve, which is the largest, I believe, in terms of TVL protocol in all of DeFi. So it's quite safe, is the atricrypto. And this is great because it's basically a mix of stablecoins, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So you own DAI, stablecoin, USDC, USDT, all stablecoins, and you own Bitcoin and Ethereum. And basically you get paid 2.91%, plus you get 10% plus 4%. So you're basically earning like 16, 17% or so paid in. Basically, you get paid here in Curve and in AVAX tokens. And this is actually a safe play. I would say you're just owning Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think this is kind of like a no-brainer, even less risk than the GMX GLP play. So if you found this video helpful, click subscribe and like this video. And also, I'd like to hear your comments below if index investing is something that you're doing actively in the cryptocurrency space or you plan on doing it. And at the same time, I've made a ton of other helpful videos to help make your crypto investing easy, lucrative, and fun. So feel free to stick around and check some of those videos out.